Morning, everyone.
Good morning,
Good
Rabbi.
morning.
We are learning Mishnah Bava Kamma, Parak Vav, Chapter 6, Mishnah Aleph, Mishnah 1. Hakoines tzoin lodir. Someone brought his sheep into a pen, v'na b'fanei karoi, and he locked the gate in front of it properly. V'yatsa ve'izika. Nonetheless, the sheep still got out and damaged. And the kind of damaging we're talking about that a sheep will do is going to either be what we call shane, because it ate, stuff from other people that belonged to somebody else, or it trampled other people's things, or other people's growing plants and things like that. So here, the Mishnah says, if you put it into a pen and you close the door, you lock the gate properly. Now, what does properly mean? Properly means the gate can withstand a normal wind. That's what it can do. It can withstand a normal wind. Nonetheless, what happened? An unusually strong wind came and blew open the door. And because of that, the sheep got out and damaged another person's property. Putter, you're exempt. You're exempt because at the end of the day, your responsibility is to secure it for normal circumstances. And if you secure it for normal circumstances, you've done what you have to do. If now abnormal circumstances take place, you're not going to be responsible for that. As they say here, although the owner of an animal must prevent it from doing damage, it is enough for him to use methods that are effective in normal circumstances. He does not have to secure it in a superior way, which prevents the animal from doing damage even in circumstances that are unusual. Okay, so that's why we say here he's pater, because he secured the animal for normal circumstances. Now, loy naba f'nei karai. But let's say he did not lock the gate in front of it properly, which means the gate could not withstand even a normal wind. V'yatsa v'izika, and the animal got out and damaged. Chayiv. Then the owner of this animal is obligated to pay, because since he did not lock it up in a way that would prevent it getting out in normal circumstances, he was therefore negligent in his guarding of his animal, and therefore he is now responsible for the damage that it does. Now, next case. Nifritza balayla. If let's say it broke out at night, meaning he locked the pen properly, okay, nonetheless, the wall was breached in an unexpected manner and happened at night. Oisha Pertsua listim, or it was thieves that breached the wall at night. V'yatsa v'hizika, and it went out and it damaged. Putter. He is not obligated to pay for the damage because the wall broke through no fault of his own. So again, let's get the case here. The words of the Mishnah are nifratza balayla. The wall was breached at night. Okay, how was it breached? We're talking about an unexpected manner, and we're talking about it was unexpected and it happened at night. Or how did the wall get breached at night? Through bandits. They broke in, and they broke a wall, and they left a breach in the wall. Now the animal went down damaged. So you're putter. Says the Mishnah, you're exempt. Why are you exempt? Because although the Mishnah didn't say it exactly, but the case here is that when the breach happens in the wall, we're talking about, again, the wall, the gate that we're talking about here, you went ahead and you locked it properly, right? If you lock something properly, it's not your responsibility. But the point here is that it happened. What happened? It happened, and how did the animal get out? In an expected manner. But the Mishnah says it happened at night. So the point is like this. The owner is exempt from payment only if the wall was breached at night, which is what the Mishnah says. It happened at night. Since a hole in a wall is unlikely to be seen at night, the owner presumably did not know about it. Therefore, he cannot be blamed for failing to run after this escaped animal and prevent it from doing damage. So number one, was it his fault that it got out? No, because he locked the door properly. And it was a proper gate, it was a proper door, it could withstand the regular wind. From that point, he's okay. Now the point is, though, when the animal gets out, how about being responsible for catching the animal? Your animal's running around, go catch it. The answer is it happened at night. It happened at night, you didn't know. But if the wall was breached in the daytime, when people would have seen and told the owner, he is obligated to recover the animal. And if he fails to do so, he is responsible for what it does. So the point is that if it happens by day, and which means people could know about it, even if he doesn't know about it, others would know about it, and they told him about it. I'm assuming it means they actually told him. He actually found out. Then he's got to go after his animal to make sure it doesn't go damaging. Now they continue here in the previous Mishna's case, where the gate was blown open. Right in the previous case, we had if he closed it properly and it still went out. How did it open? It was unexpected. Some unexpected wind came, blew open the door. Okay. In that case, there is no difference between day and night. Meaning, why don't we say then also this abnormal wind blew open the door, so he should know. So if it's by day, he should know about it and go catch his animal. People who see an open gate do not realize that anything is wrong. It would not say anything to the owner. Even in the daytime, then he might not have known that the gate was open, so we cannot hold him liable for failing to retrieve the animal. So in the case, both the first case of the Mishnah was he closed the door properly, it could withstand the normal wind, an abnormal wind came, blew open the door, the animal went out. No differentiation there in the first part of the Mishnah between day and night. And the answer is because even happens by day, people don't necessarily assume that an open door is a problem. Maybe the owner went in, opened the door, took out his animal, left the door open. There's no assumption there that there's something wrong. And therefore, they better have told him. They didn't tell him. He's not going to be responsible to go running after his animal. But if there's a breach, that already is something that means there's something wrong. And therefore, if the breach happened by day, then people would see it and they would tell him about it, and then he would be responsible. So that's why the first half of the Mishnah makes no mention about day and night, but the last part of the Mishnah does. Now, we have here, the Mishnah mentioned that the wall got breached at night, or it was breached at night by the bandits. Okay, those are the way that they became breached in unexpected ways. Since it's at night, the halacha is you're going to be exempt. Now, in this case that we just had with the bandits, so we say putter, the owner is putter. How about the bandits? Are they chayev? Because they broke open the wall and let the animal out, or are they responsible for that? So they say like this. In the previous case, meaning in the case we just read, neither the owner nor the robbers have to pay for the damage done by the sheep. The owner is exempt because he secured the sheep properly. The robbers are exempt because they do not own the sheep and they cause the damage only indirectly. That means like this, and I read to you again from the notes. Only the owner of an animal is liable for damage that he indirectly caused it to do. For example, he failed to secure it properly and it got out and did damage. Anyone else is not liable unless he made the animal do damage directly. In our case, the robbers are neither the owners nor they cause the animal to do damage directly. Thus, they are not required to pay. Meaning, in the case before, they broke open the wall. Now, when something gets breached and the animal gets out, that's not direct damage. It's not like you went in and picked up your animal and put it near somebody's plants to eat. It's indirect. Nonetheless, the Torah obligates you. That's the obligation that you have to do if your animal goes out and damages. It may have been indirect, but you're supposed to guard it. If you didn't guard it, you're responsible. So it's not direct, it's indirect, but you're responsible because it's your animal. And now, so therefore, the case before, where it happened at night, it was not normal for it to happen, he didn't know that it happened, he's going to be exempt. The bandits, on the bandits, although they're the ones who breached the wall, they're not the owner of the animal. And therefore, technically, they were an indirect cause of the animal going out to damage. And since it's not their animal, they're not responsible. Only if we can see the bandits they picked up the animal, they put it in somebody else's yard. Maybe that would be called direct. And then there's going to be another case where the bandits are going to be liable. But in the case where they just breached the wall and the animal got out, they're not responsible. Now, the Mishnah concludes, Haitzi'ua listim. Well, let's say the bandits are the ones who took it out. Listim chayav, then the bandits are the ones obligated to pay. Now, all it says is they took it out. But by taking it out, what's the point of taking it out? How does taking out do anything? So the explanation is as follows. By taking it out, they have performed an act of acquisition, a kinyan with the animal, which makes it theirs in certain ways, including giving them the responsibility to prevent it from doing damage. That's the point here. By taking it out, it's considered a kinyan, an act of acquisition. And now, because they acquired it, they're now responsible for it. Now, what does it mean they acquired it? I mean, they stole it. It's not theirs. So the point is like this. So let me read to you from the notes. When one buys something, he does not acquire it until he performs a kinyan, which is an act of acquisition with it. Similarly, if one takes something from another person without permission, he has not committed theft, which makes him responsible for the stolen object until he performs a kinyan. That's the rule by a ganef. A ganef has to make a kinyan. A thief has to make a kinyan. He has to do an act of acquisition for this stolen object now to be considered that he took it, like he bought it, so to speak. He took it, and he's now responsible for it. It's not his, but a ganef, in order for him to be considered stealing it and now responsible for it, it has to be like it's his, and it has to be that he made a kinyan. There are several types of kinyanim, acts of acquisition, that can be performed with an animal. One is a simple act of pulling the animal, which is called meshicha. In the Mishna's case, therefore, after the robbers took the sheep out of the pen, how did they take it out? How did they take it out? They pulled it out. They pulled it out, or let's say they pushed it out. Let's just say they pulled it out. Okay, they are responsible to prevent it from doing damage, and if it does do damage, they must pay. So that's what it means. When they took it out, they become responsible. Means they took it out. They took it out. That was called making a kinyan. That was called making a kinyan, doing an act of acquisition. That means now the Torah considers it stolen. It considers it in their domain, in their control, and they're now responsible. Therefore, the Mishnah says when they took it out, they're responsible. Now, a very important point here is, it is not necessary for the robbers to actually pull the animal or otherwise make it walk. Meaning, there's a way of getting a kinyan on an animal. You pull it out, you make it walk, right? You get it to walk. Even if but here in the case of a ganef, they don't have to do that. Even if they just surrounded it in such a way that it could go in only one direction, they just stood in front of it, and therefore it only had one direction to go, out.
They didn't have to schlep it.
They didn't schlep it. They didn't do anything to call it, so to speak, directly make it walk out. They just stood in front of it to go out, which is not considered a regular kinyan. Nonetheless, they are considered to have performed the kinyan. The sages decreed that this is a kinyan in order to punish the robbers. If you want to buy something from someone and you just kind of stand in front of it and it has nowhere to go but in one direction, that's not a kinyan if you want to buy something. But when it came to a ganef, who again, a ganef becomes responsible when he makes a kinyan, when he does an act of acquisition, the Chachamim said, even something like this, of standing in its way, and that's why it walked out. It's considered like an act of acquisition. It's like pulling it out, and therefore it's considered they stole it. It now becomes under their in their domain, and they're responsible for the damage that it does. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.